Podcast.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Well, deeply appreciate for the invitation.
So there is like an interesting moment right now. So do you want to do it in Serbian or in English?
In English.
In English, but you are a Serbian son-in-law, so I'm just like making sure how your Serbian lessons are going so far.
Pa ja mislim dosta dobro.
Dosta dobro.
Let's say like this, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. When we start communicating first time, and then you ended the sentence with like "and brate," and I was like, okay, you are ours right now. There is no way you're not served right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, I really, really like to speak the language. You see, I speak Russian since because of the Soviet Union, and it was my second language. But Serbian is much easier for my communication and also for the accent. So it really touches me, and I really do feel home. You see, in the back hangs Novi Sad, the whole map.
Oh yeah, you went to Novi Sad a week ago or something like that?
Just 3 days ago.
Did you try?
Came back on Saturday.
Did you try the restaurant I recommended you?
Well, I didn't have time this time, but last summer we were in the restaurant. Now I don't remember exactly what I ate, but really delicious and a very good one. Would recommend anybody in Novi Sad to go there and taste it.
Yeah, it's such a great food. So today, you have an interesting life and career, and a lot of like I would say you can like agree or disagree, but like a big down moment, and then you actually used it as an opportunity to learn something, and now you're sharing that knowledge. And I think that's fascinating and amazing. And when I heard your story first time from Igor, we will talk about Igor and conference that is coming on soon. But when I first heard your story, I was like, that's amazing, like from not giving up to actually growing so much and learning and applying and changing approach. So let's start from the beginning. Like you were a professional dancer for 20 years. How was that time?
My parents were dancers, and I liked actually when I was young to do more boxing. So I was really from that time already training boxing, the push-ups and all these things. But I grew up in a dancer's family, so I joined the ballet school and finished the ballet school. And 1997, I won a scholarship, Nureyev scholarship from Lausanne competition. So I 98 joined the Zurich school with that scholarship. Then the career started. I joined the company in Zurich. Then I changed to Munich 2005. 2007, I became an honored artist of Armenia. So that all went in 20 years of my professional career, over 700 performances, active performances. That does not count the rehearsals, 6.5 hours every day. And not only taking care of yourself, but you got to take care of the ballerinas to not let them fall from the points. Or when you're lifting them, everything needs to be still aesthetically clean and in music. That is what very big difference from athletic sport and ballet, which it seems a fairy tale, but it is absolutely high performance art form, which I 1 second don't regret that I've done it, even though in the 700 performances over, I had 22 injuries. So there where you said the downfall started to come. You have once, you have a torn calf. You're like, okay, let's see what up. You do the rehabilitation, you come back. What happens? Happens second time. Happens the next one. And it starts to change like that. So whatever there is in the system, and I'm at the Bavarian State Ballet, and I'm going to a doctor. Name is Dr. Müller-Woffat. He's one of the best orthopeds. So getting all that help, but still that was not a long term. And after the 6th or the 7th, I had exactly that point of, am I going to continue what's happening? The system is not helping somehow. They're not finding, yes, I'm getting back in shape. Probably I'm even better in shape. But the injury happens even faster, my friend. Now, how and which path shall I take to understand? Of course, you start to doubt yourself. Maybe I'm training wrong because one trainer says your calves are too strong. The other trainer says your thighs are too weak. The other trainer says your thighs are too strong. The calves are too weak. So it starts to bounce from muscle chain to muscle chain, from muscle to muscle. Because what I also start to see slowly in that path, that we're concentrating a bit too much onto the muscles. So, and there was my, let's say in a way, I understood that I have to look myself into my own body. Not only by reading and applying, having the patience, doing it like a laboratory mouse to see if there is any difference. Not because somebody told me, because I've done many. When you have 22 injuries, not a big injuries, yeah? There were not a fundamentally would disturb my career if, no, there were calf injuries, but it takes you rehabilitation altogether 2.5 to 3 months. Your season is 11 months. And if you have it twice in a season, 6 months, you lost it. So in my position as a principal ballet dancer and waiting for galas, waiting for guestings and all that, managers are calling and all that you have to deny again because you're again injured, it starts to be a bit annoying. So you're like, do I'm going to make it? Maybe I stop here and start something else. But what something else? My interest is to find out why it's happening. So therefore, it took me a while to, exercise a lot of things, put it together from techniques to techniques and styles to yoga with Shaolin training and all those mixes. Oh, and the time was going. Yes, I could feel a little bit difference, but the real breakthrough on my before last season, I saw one of the fitness academies that I'm now also a teacher there. Method that it used to called in England was called CORE with K, kinesthetic optimum recovery enhancement. Now in Germany, we modified it a little bit in such a way that it's more for trainers, not for the therapy. So it calls neuromuscular screening. And that was the breakthrough when I was like, well, of course, we have tests, kinesiologic tests. And the very first test, even, I was in shape, performing, still dancer, but I'm already looking, that's the only thing I don't know. So I went myself to study. I was a still dancer principal. I was not end of my career. I did not stop and then give up and look for something else. No, I was still active, hard on it. And if it would really break it, I would break them again. Because every time I broke, I came back better. Or torn my cuffs, I came back better and in some way smarter. So it got me into this addiction almost to get it even more. Because now I would not give any of my injuries back to say just to have an easier career. Because there where I came today, it's, maybe hard way, but all those hard ways get you, in way stronger, but on the right direction that you start to see your body and understanding. So what I wanted to say, the first test of that method, I was weak like you can't imagine because you're doing it in line. But I'm in top shape. I should not be. And the teacher, woman, suck. And I got really in shock. I stood up, I was like, wait a second, to class, sorry. This can't happen. I'm active. Just before yesterday, I've danced 3 acts of a classical ballet. It's 2.5 hours. It's impossible that I'm so weak. She's like, how many injuries did you have, Tigran? It's like, okay. I like that. And I then registered for the whole education system. It's in parts, so it makes you much easier than you have to get into 5 years in certain, education. This is broken into parts, into blocks, so you can do fast, and then you can join for the other one and put them all together. So that way, all those tests, basic, advanced, NMS trainer, then you you do a detox. You start to understand through the Chinese medicine how the organs are important for you. And then you do the distress, how the combination of a mind and organs, only this way we can have a freedom. That means freedom in all aspects, in our decision making, in our all kinds of, in the environment, whatever we need to use to feel happy or healthier, we can be more independent when you start to understand the importance of our organs. So, and this way I went in until I became the health coach for neuromuscular screening. And during this time, I also create my own method, a training that calls rođen, regeneration training. And it can be for rejuvenation, for recovery. And with these methods together, I keep myself in better shape than I was for 20 years professional, and trying to help people and share this new perspective.
Let's start before we start with your method, because that sounds super interesting. But I just have to go back a little bit and talk about first method that you find out. So for us that never heard before about that method, how would you introduce that method to us?
We do a neuromuscular screening. That means it's actually a muscle test to see how your muscles are firing in what temp. Because when I ask you, let's say, are you ready to do? So I'm going to push and you're going to hold against it. You see within each of person the difference. There might be even a millisecond that they are answering you later. So that's already delay in the neurotransmitters. Mm-hmm. That means when they are standing, they don't feel that. So this way you can start to see why this muscle chain or the particular muscle itself is not working optimally. And it doesn't matter how much you go and train it if you have no idea. You might train your latissimus, you come in front of me that big. If the connection, neuromuscular connection, latissimus has to your organs, one of the parts of the organs, and if they together are not working optimally, doesn't matter how big that muscle is, it will not have its maximum strength. And it's a completely individual. I mean, your own strength, not that it's weaker than somebody else. And this way I understood that as much as I was a profi and I thought I'm in top shape, I was on my 45%, man. And when I'm looking like this in the surrounding, every athlete is maximum there on their 65. When we call it, yeah, we have to get onto my 100%, that's all muscular. And the muscles are nothing without the help and the right functionality of the organs. And nobody pays attention to this thing. And so simply in this neuromuscular NMS performance system, because by correcting and doing these very light release techniques, your body finds itself better to have the regeneration, because the concentration and the guidance of your energy is not going into the muscles, it goes into more important place. That means whatever gives a life to those muscles. Answer me, for example, one thing. If the muscle doesn't have a clean blood in the muscle, so is it about the training? Is it about the method of the training or style of a training, or about a trainer to make you better? Nobody can make you better if your blood is dirty in your muscles. Isn't it simple?
Yeah, that's an interesting approach. Like, I had opportunity to interview a lot of doctors and personal trainers over the last 3 years in Serbia, but we never talk about this. This is like a one step back from the general knowledge, I would say. Very interesting. Well, how
I
do
don't
you?
know with
Oh, sorry.
uh,
How do
uh,
you activate these muscles actually? Like, what's the process? Like, you just like say right now that it's like
for example,
Mhm.
I take another our contralateral functionality. That means every step we take in our life. It is connected neuromuscular to your jaw. So chewing gum, you actually make a chronic pain in one of your joints, depending on your own individual functionality and movement. And people go and take two knee surgeries. They come to me. They're like, man, whatever I do, the knee is still painful. I took a two surgery, the lateral meniscus, the medial meniscus, but it's still I have a pain. I look, his jaw is like this. I'm like, did anybody ask you what's wrong with your jaw? It's like, no, but I have very much tension in the nights. I can't sleep well. So in our method, we learn those simple things, not because the knee is not strong or the quadriceps muscle is not strong enough. So you have to go and pump the quadriceps more. We're almost every athlete is overtrained with the training, because we train and we miss something inside of us that is not coming out, but we feel there is. So that addiction to extreme trainings come, overburning our body, then waiting for a regeneration, which will not happen because the system is so on a high alert that it does not manage even after the training to regenerate. One of the most important things in regeneration, that we'll speak about my method and a training later, but now I want to just say in the normal conventional world, the regeneration happens after training. But if your vagus, the vegetative nerve, will not switch from sympathicus to parasympathicus, you will never regenerate. Doesn't matter what kind of baths you take, what kind of ice buckets you take to dip yourself in, you will never regenerate. The nerve, vagus nerve, is more important for our regeneration than any of the machines we have created today. And spending a lot of work and a wealth on those machines, until today, no profi's career got longer. And those were also my questions to myself and to the system. We're trying everything. Why nobody's career is longer? The average at least has to be a little bit pulled, prolonged. No. There are some talents, there are some geniuses, there are some athletes that they have certain genes, and that happened also 50 years ago. That is happening also today. But in general, in the average, nothing is really growing. We're getting more injured because our concentration is completely in the wrong place.
So the right place will be joints and systems. Okay, let's talk more about joints.
So joints are like a cranes at the construction. So what do you think? If the crane's angle and the weight what it is necessary for supporting to lift the other weight is not in the right place, this crane would work right? No. So it doesn't matter how much you go and try and how stronger motor you want to put and change in the motor, you have to change the angle that it functions better. Why? Because all the muscles, it's a simple things I say, it's there. Every anatomy class you learned it, and then I don't understand why it's not being used. Every muscle has an insertion and an origins, insertion. They're all in the joint. So if the joint is in the wrong place, the insertions and the origins of those muscles were becoming a ligaments and having in the neuromuscular junctions having a chemical synapse, it will not be optimal. So it doesn't matter how much you want to train, you will only hurt yourself. So therefore, I started with more correcting the positions in my training, and then it's almost taking 3 steps back. But in today's world, sometimes we need to do that. A lot of people don't have the time because it's rather, we take a pill, it's pain-free, then we'll see. But I want people to see the new perspective that we need also sometimes to take those pills because it's painful, yes. But in general, in the average functionality, we have to understand that one of our biggest mistakes is to consciously move the muscles. We have to move the joints or do the movements itself, our fundamental movements, if we do ourselves and be in a correct joint angles, our muscles will do their job much, much, much better than if we concentrate in a biceps curl on a biceps. But what happens on your wrist is more pressure because more weight you start to put, more is hanging on your wrist, So, and then what happens? We neglect all those ligaments here, muscles, and they are much tinier and smaller that they actually need more energy than a biceps. But our concentration goes into the biceps curl. And then, of course, the whole stagnation. But if we think that this is a fundamental movement for us, arm movements that we pull, you go in the correct position and you pull and you guide your energy in every cell of your body, not to a biceps only itself. Because there is no movement that you can isolate that other muscle chains or even the contralateral side is not working. So the fascia is connected together. And therefore, we need to get our concentration out of muscles. Of course, we want to have big muscles. Yes, you take more weight. Yes, keep the same movement, but change the perspective of thinking where you want to guide your energy.
How to start that focused trainings? It sounds like a focus training to me. Maybe it's not the right word, but like how to change that perspective right now. It sounds good in theory, but as someone who's going
Yes.
to gym every day, almost like 5 days a week, how do you change that perspective in like a real life? Like, for example, tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. From tomorrow, if you understand the perspective of your spleen is responsible for your muscle power. So now what you do, you gain more power in your muscles through your muscles, or you try to help your spleen to be healthier, better functionally. That means automatically it will increase your powers in your muscles. It's hard for people to, from one day, to come, okay, take care of my spleen. I have all the protocol warm-up things. We will now speak also about the warm-up. I was coming there, and it will take a time. You need to be patient because in Chinese medicine, you have to look back 20 years. And you pay 20 years later the bills. So that snowball effect to slow down, it's the first step to understand that muscles are there to function subconsciously. I have to concentrate more on the aspects what make the muscles to function better, including not only the power, including the blood, what I just mentioned before. Your spleen is responsible for producing new blood. So if it's tired, it will not produce enough good blood. So that means the old blood will be thicken up. Your liver will be more under pressure because it doesn't have the chance anymore to detoxify whatever it's already detoxified. And the kidneys will have a problem because the blood is too thick. It can't filter it. Then the blood pressure comes up because if it's a too thick blood, it doesn't have enough oxygen inside. Your brain starts to not function well. But then what do we do? Going to psychologists for our performance, or try to clean the source which produces the necessary substances for our healthier and longevity. And that is the perspective that they have to understand from today, tomorrow. There is no, I wait another month. You only will lose this time. Unfortunately, I had to live a hard way to understand, but I'm happiest now. Maybe if you bring everybody, every person in this world, and give them a 22 injuries and tell them, you know what, you have to rehabilitate yourself because there is no trainer can help. You tried already 10 times. Doesn't change. It gets even faster. So there, for me, in sense, was hard, but in the end, very easy to start to grasp, embrace, and understand these things. So it could be that it's functioning a bit more faster because my guidance of my energy is onto the more right direction than having a doubt. I had my doubts in my first 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 injuries. But I really mean it. We don't have time. And then when it comes, it's too late. Then, of course, we need to have the surgeries. Very, very common problem. Herniated disc in a lumbar spine. Nobody is asking, hey, what's happening there? Yeah, because I'm sitting too long. Did you fall from the third floor? No. I'm like, just sitting. Your system have to be in the place to regenerate that sitting. But if it's not, that means it's something else. It's not your spine, the problem. Lumbar spine, what is the problem? Nobody looks. Once you sit, your psoas is in the same fascia with your kidneys. The kidneys are actually not doing their 400 meters every day. They have to move up and down. If 1 year they don't do every day 400 meters, second year they don't do. So they are exactly like an athlete because kidneys is also a muscle. Like your biceps, they go off shape. Then you lose completely power there. Then when you sit long, the gravity does its job, squeezes together, and nobody looks at the gravity. Nobody looks at people's, in a sense, correct position. What I said, you said it very good before me. Joint position, joint. So if I correct my shoulders every day in my training that they are in the right place, clavicula is long, I will never have a problem with my rotator manchettes in the back. I will not have a frozen shoulder, and I will not get also a tennis elbow. Tennis elbow most comes because the shoulder is already in the wrong place, so the humerus is not functioning right. Thank you.
Now you're talking and everything start hurting me so much. I'm gonna mute you right now. I'm just kidding.
The opposite. Think about the positioning. And the positioning, why is so important? What gets the very first thing on our body old? Our position. Because the organs losing power with the age, and we don't really pay attention to stimulate them every day, we just waste their energy, and we never ask, hey, muscle take energy, brain takes energy, and brain takes a lot of energy. We never ask, but from where are they taking this energy? Huh? Tell me, Ivan, from where? From the electroplugs? No. It's your own energy from your own organs. But what can I do then maybe? Stimulate more energy, not how can I train to take less energy.
Yeah, opposite approach. And it's very interesting that you said about position, because uh, our position of the body is connected with our state of mind and without I would say like motivation, like our how do we feel,
Everything.
our self-confidence. Yeah, right.
You know why? Because of the position changes the position of your organs. If your organ positions are changed, your hormone levels are different. The hormone production is not optimal. That means the adrenals are not in the right place, your pancreas is not in the right place, and so on. And therefore, the chemical process, what is happening in your body, as if it's with the thought or with the organs or with emotional or with physical, it all plays together. We are a machine, one in one. The conscious mind is it's like a captain. Conscious mind is the captain of your boat, ship. But what does the captain do? Take care of that boat. And in our way of looking in our body, we grant the prize to our mind as a captain, but that captain really is not doing a lot for the internal organs, which actually giving energy and the blood up to that captain. So that's also something that they have to be understanding together. And everyone, it's coming now, but that's now I'm talking a bit more about maybe psychological aspects and all this, but they all play a role in your performance. Every small thing plays a role. The same way like the liver. Let's take a liver as organ. Except detoxifying your body in Chinese medicine, it's responsible for your anger. It's a very nice one. Wait. There is one emotion and one organ that we know they're connected. Which one?
The heart.
Tell me.
Heart and happiness?
Love.
Yeah, love. Okay.
And why heart and love? Love is in heart, but anger is in the head. No. Anger is in your liver. That's why you feel something here when you're getting pissed or something is squeezing you. And the liver is responsible for anger. Generally, pain feeling, it stores blood and attention in your body. So when you stabilize those four things before training, let's say, I'm going to get now slowly into the warm-up aspect. So what do you think? With less anger, less negative process is happening in your system, you will already have a better training. Less body tension because the liver will be a bit more stabilized and a little bit more help to do its, pumping work. Kidneys. Your fear is stored in your kidneys. And that's why the combination of when we get scared, we pee in our pants. Nowhere else, nothing else, because the kidneys can't hold it from the shock.
Sorry to interrupt you. You'll probably met in Serbia Nemanja Milovic. He's a friend of mine, and he's a Novi Sad too. He's a, I think I would argue. I know he won for 1 year, but I would argue for many years. For now, one of the most influential personal trainer on the Balkan. And then we talked. He was a multiple time on the show in Serbia. And once we talked about going to the gym angry and how it's actually not beneficial at all for you, and like you're not relieving anger in training, you're actually taking good
You're
amount
actually
of energy from your training, because you can't, like you said, like
Exactly.
everything is connected. We in Serbia say, like, when we don't like someone or we don't like some situation, we are like, I can't digest that, it's just like everything is connected with organs, like, and
Of course.
all people, like generations before us knew it, like even without science and everything. Now you
Yeah.
can prove, and you're like, yeah, that's what you're saying right now, like kidney and fear or something like that. It's probably more proven now, but we knew it before. That's very interesting for me, because once you change the perspective, like what you're telling me for the last 30 minutes, that everything is connected and that you cannot escape, you have to ask a right question. It's not what's wrong with me, it's like, how did it started? It's not why it's happening to me, like how it started. I do like approach, so please continue.
Yeah. So there is exactly why it happens to me. This question was exactly mine. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? But then when I learned and I understood that I have to look 20 years back, even when I look back, I was more than thankful that I'm alive, or I even made so much in my career by losing still so much. Can you imagine that? Because when I look back, 90s, out of Soviet Union, no electricity, no gas, minus 20 outside with broken windows, with 3 pants on, we were doing ballet class with wet shoes. Of course, it disturbed my kidneys. Of course, it disturbed my bladder. Of course, there are meridians that they are connected. Your adrenal glands are sitting on your kidneys. If kidney is not well, how can your hormone production be well? It cannot be. So with all that already since the school and having such a career, I cannot ask for more. So then everything becomes actually more positive than negative. And it's not because sometimes they say, yeah, there are situations in world, everybody says, look at everything from positive angle. But if we don't have this small answer, it's very hard for people to guide their energy into the positive side because the negative is too big. But with me, it happened because it clicked. I looked back, like, man, Armenia, I left Armenia to Switzerland, Munich, the repertoire that I danced, the choreographers that I worked. And so what that I lost a little bit. So then you in instant you transform. And your subconscious functionality, not only mind, but the 95% of our functionality is subconscious. It takes more energy from you than your muscles. When you train 2 hours and you lost 500 calories, how much calorie from these 500 muscles burn? You train, push them, I don't know, 120 kgs, you sweat 500 calories. Just give me a number.
I don't have idea. I would say zero right now by your face impression, but like you can say like probably 50, 100.
No, 30 to 40. So it's not even a 10%. Because the rest of the 460 calories burns your system. Blood transportation, water transportation, hormone production into the muscles, and then thinking, the calculation of every step, every movement. It's much more happening than only muscle functionality. And that's not a Chinese medicine.
That's what I want to say right now. Is this science based?
Yes, that was a very, very nice and amazing program in German called Galileo. They're only doing the science things. And after when I saw that, I was like, was still a dancer. That, these small things, I start to pick it up and say, okay, let me just see this direction a little bit. Because I've been too much myself concentrated on too much. I get my calves, doing the exercises for the calf muscles. So more I got concentrated on my calves to get them bigger, more weaker they got. So you start to understand that, hey, something is I'm doing wrong. More I concentrate, more I train, weaker I am. So that's why also, after understanding all this, creating my own method, number one was, and also during the studying, during the education of a personal trainer in the anatomy classes, very nice colleague of mine, and also my teacher, and also he's an NMS master trainer. I had to drive up 700 kilometers from Munich to Recklinghausen to go only by him, because I've seen a lot in the world. I've seen a lot of doctors, a lot of trainers, but because he's also with NMS, and the combination how he puts and the perspective that he teaches, I said, anatomy, I have to learn by him. So I go there, and the first thing he says, I mean, not first, but one of the first things when we come to warm up, every warm up creates a little bit and kind of micro injuries in your muscles. And I was like, nah, are you kidding me? I was like, Martin, and out of all those scientists and all this money that is involved in the fitness and professional sports, nobody tried to find a way to reduce those. It costs money. Injury costs money. And they're investing more money. But why nobody tried to find out how to warm up with the less micro injuries in your muscle tissue? So there comes my protocol, warm up. I started doing it to see if there is difference, if my ideas are working. I everything try onto myself. Believe me, it has to work. If it's not working, then yeah, unfortunately we have to see something else. But the release techniques that what we do in neuromuscular screening to our clients, I was the first one actually. There are over 200, around 200 people in England doing that technique, and maybe 60 to 70 in Germany. I was the only one. Try to combine to do it to yourself. And I even asked the people, and nobody said we tried. And I was like, and how do you know it works? Because you studied, and John is the creator, John Brazer from England, from UK. And I was like, sorry, John, but I have to ask this question. I have to ask people, how do you know it works? Just because you studied and just because John says? Or the client comes, stands up and feels good because out the whole stressy day, just to lie down 1 hour and getting a little bit touched, that could be already a great feeling, no? So they're like, nobody. So me, then I said, okay, why I can't do those things onto myself? There where it started, reading more about Chinese medicine and studying the core aspect for me for my last season to still see if me as active professional dancer with this much injuries for my last season, am I going to have an easier last season? Yes, I had. I had 2 premieres and no injury. Before that, every 22, if you count every season, almost 2 to 3 times for 6, 7 years. And the years before, just once maybe, until I was getting slowly there. So the warm-up starts with stimulating your meridian acupressure points before you start any functional warm-up. Functional warm-up, that's the warm-up we know. We come, we want to warm up our back and our muscles. But we're forgetting our organic fascia. If it's hardened up and glued with each other, then you thinking to move your muscles to get warm, you will hurt them or you will hurt something else. And that's exactly what's happening. If you take an example, simple example, you have a bucket with a beton inside, with the concrete, with the wet concrete. You take a piece of stick wood, and with that stick you mix with the wet concrete. It will mix, no? And the stick will not break. The stick is your spine, the concrete is your organs. When the concrete gets hard and dries up, can you mix it? No. It's going to break. And imagine you come and you start to, that's what we do. We come into the fitness and we start to, our spine. But of course the nerves are irritated. Of course the nerves are inflamed. Yeah, but I was warming up. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. Because there is much more important thing. Your liver is the biggest organ. If the liver fascia is glued to your rib fascia, how do you want to move that? Isn't it, wouldn't it be easier just to go a nice soft massage to bring a little more blood around that area so that the blood circulation is better without this blood circulation, or without first putting the heart rate up by functionality. And my example is always in a winter when you sit in a car or you come close to your car, what do you warm up?
The engine, but
Thank you. And what is our engine? What is our engine? Our spine is our engine? Our head is our engine? No, our engine is our organs. And we try to warm up our engine by already driving the car. Do you understand? That's exactly what we do. It's very simple. We construct and we create everything like us. We treat everything else so right, except ourselves.
so sorry. So the goal with warming up in your method is to make enough space in veins for our blood to circulate, so it can support our organs to unglue in this metaphor, and then to start actually warming up before we start training. Did I follow you the process? Did I miss anything?
You didn't miss. It's just the understanding, not the whens to have more blood place for blood to be, but get the energy in the organs. You have a meridian points, acupressure points, that they stimulate your organ functionality, and the circle of a functionality. That's the meridian which goes around. If that circle is free and energy is flowing free, your organ automatically will have a better functionality, and it will start to be softer. The next is when you soft massage, it's the same thing. How much we get a back massage, how much we get a thigh massage, how many times we get a calf and a biceps massage. In anatomy, we have 3 different kinds of muscle sets. Yeah, the functional muscles, 638 or something exactly, and we have organic fascia, and then we have a cardiovascular, the heart one. Nobody gets to it; it's independent itself. And if we can massage calf muscles, and they will work better, which they never work better. I've got the most calf massages in my life, flying from here to Stockholm to get the right way of deep in the whatever. But if that's an idea, that means the first we have to try that idea into our organic fascia without pain, creating the flexibility, the elasticity back of our organs. Then automatically your muscles will be more elastic and more healthy, because your organs will give the necessary blood into your functional muscles to be healthier and to regenerate faster.
When you talk about traditional Chinese medicine, that's very interesting for me. Especially 2 weeks ago, I filmed one with a qigong and tai chi master, and then we had I think 3 total episodes in Serbia about Chinese medicine. It's very interesting how they founded those places. Those places at the body to massage, to acupuncture to start. So can you show me right now just a couple places where what you massage before how your warming up starts? What are these places?
Warming up starts sitting, one leg stretch, one leg bend, with your own hands, with your own extremities. What we also miss today, we have always external things. We warm up with holding something else. So our emotional, our self-feeling we're missing. So that was already the first feeling for people, just to sit there and touch their foot with their hands, touching their one foot. And there are necessary points on your foot. The liver point, liver 3, very important. kidney points. Then on your tibialis bone, on the shin bone, you have a spleen points. So all that will be stimulated with your hands or finger or with your palms, so that the energy flow, the mitochondrions in the cells are already moving faster before there happened any functional or any pressurized movement. Because every movement is already a pressure if the body is having a problem to do that movement. But not getting with the movement to get it warm while it's already having a micro problems, I decided to give all that heat from within. And you feel when you do the feet, you do the hips, because in the hips also, in your adductor area, you have very big lymphatic nodes. And if you come and you start to only stretch them to get them warm or to squeeze them, you already create and cause small problems. So I decided, why not with that soft part of the hand, just to make it warm, bring the right heat, and then you already will have an easier movement in your hips. So easier you can start doing your stretchings without torturing yourself. Less pain in your training, more energy for regeneration. And then slowly moving up like that, then you do the belly, soft belly massage. I teach the people that it shouldn't be any pain. Once you feel the painful spot, you can stay around that area, but not pushing. We don't want to create any stress. We want to let and just give the body its opportunity to pump. Even in the end, we're one big pump with many small pumps in our system. Everything is a pump. And if something is not pumping well, that means stagnation, that means pain, that means unhappiness, that means toxication. Because once you feel pain, your system will already be automatically using more energy to resist that pain. Yes, you might get immune to it, you might resist it, not feel it, but underneath, subconscious functionality will still use your energy for supporting those aspects. And as much as we can reduce that, healthier and longevity and rejuvenation we will experience. Because what actually I feel in my body now, and I have a couple of clients that they're really following since 2.5 years. So, I stopped dancing 4 years ago. Yeah, it's not like I'm 20 years doing this. But being so in short time in a new career and having those people trusting you and telling you in such a way, it changed my life. And when I start training with people, I say, I don't want to get you only stronger. I want to change every aspect. And that happens because I take the body as one. You take care each of aspect, the other aspects will take care of the other aspects. Because in mama's belly, there was no doctor, there was no trainer, there was no body. Your system and the nature build it from nothing. And that your system knows it till now and has it. It's just because of compensation and all the environmental surrounding that we're so deeply dived in, we we lose these aspects. And it's very hard to gain it back in instant. It almost, if it's 20 years, you need a little bit of a time to roll back to start going forward again. Snowball effect. The life is snowball effect. We are born, it already for a short, maybe we think it's everything going towards up, but it's already from the first minute, it's already a snowball effect. So if we can reduce any percentage in the snowball effect, doesn't matter on what direction, emotional, mental or physical, that's already a big plus, because reducing one place will reduce from other.
We had on the show Dr. Olada, and I think he'll also be one of the speaker on a conference.
Yeah, Igor told me
Yeah.
actually. I'm looking forward very much.
Oh yeah, he's expert, and he's like a wonderful human being. And then we talked once on the show, and then he said like, if they tell you like, oh yeah, you can like lose weight in 7 days, and then but for the last 20 years of your life you're overweight, like, do you think you really can change something in like 7 days? Like, don't trust them, you know. So I really do like your way and your method that you shared right now, but I had to go back a little bit on the warm up. How does the warm up last? Do you do only warm up for? Do you do any cool downs after the training? How that works?
Yeah,
Hmm.
the cool down after the warm up for me in 1 hour training. In a normal PTs, people take warm up 5 to 10 minutes. That's illegal. I'm sorry, it's illegal.
Did you say it's
That's
illegal?
I said it's illegal.
Illegal?
Yes. Because that's why there's nothing happening. My all good.
All good, all good. We're still in program. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is happening. We're in podcast, so all good. Just continue.
Yeah, super. What I was saying.
It's illegal for warm up
Yeah.
because
Yes, because 5-10 minutes only to manage to put the heart rate up there is not enough to get the whole body in really nice. So 15 to 20 minutes I go with the warm up, which for some people in the beginning it feels like, oh my god, it's boring, Tigran, can we do something else? I had a client, she saw me training with the ballet dancers in the clinic, and she got probably excited and she wants to train with me. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't understand what's happening. She's going 5 times a week to muscle training, power, and I don't know. She does a lot of trainings and PTs also. So she came and I said, okay, if we want to train together, then you have to change perspective. Otherwise, you just go with other trainers, and I go and use my energy for people who want to get slowly changed and spend a little bit more, be boring in certain way, difficult time in training, but have easier in the life. Do you understand what I mean? Many people go to fitness to have fun 1 hour, but then they come out of a fitness and struggle during the other 23 hours in life. So that's what I want to change. And it might feel a little bit boring in the beginning, but after, once the subconscious system have it, nobody can do without it, because you already know when you do how your body feels, and when you don't do, you want to warn me like, no, but I will hurt myself. It's so amazing, and then automatically everybody does. So she had a thing. She's like, can we like do your, because except the warm up, I have also I chose isometric training, so everybody has time to push themselves a little bit and get more connected to their own selves. You know, not using always TheraBands or weights or machines or cables or whatever. No, we've got everything. You have a push, you can change positions, you can pull, you can push. So once do using isometric, you grow more into yourself, let's say, except all the scientific and important aspects of isometric training. But she was very funny. She's like, can we leave the warm-up part, do the other training part? I was unfortunately no, because I want results. And I know that it works, because if it wouldn't work, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in this shape what I am now. And actually to not, in a way to say that, I can do this, I can do that. But when in the end we speak, the people can check also social media channel. I have some simple videos, but in a certain way shows how much strength you still can keep having, but not training like a freak. With less training, having the same or even better results than before.
So it will be like a smart training actually, and then uh, getting more done than with the hard work. What about cooling down?
I have a very special thou breathing technique that I use it also in the end of the warm up. That means with nice heating up, stimulating your in Tao. It's also, you know, Taoist.
Mhm.
They believe not, and we have a two pumps, cranial and a sacral pump for our spinal cord fluid. So by heating that up and then nicely soft breathing and massaging with your belly, your abdominal muscles, softly your organs, and exhaling, we wash the spine from inside with the spinal cord fluid. And a warmer spinal cord fluid that means it will move faster. If it moves faster, that means the functionality of the spine or regeneration of each and every nerve will be more gliding. And with inhale and exhale, of course, you stabilize also the breathing. That's for the warm up. And in the end of the training, in a much slower tempo, the breathing, and then only 1 minute on your forehead to stabilize the blood back into your brain. Because in training, in fight or flight mode, on the sympathicus mode of the vagus nerve, in the training mode, your system takes the blood out of your frontal lobe and takes out of your organs. So that you don't have time to think, you have to act instinctively, and no energy is being spent on a digesting system. It's all automatic happening. And still the adrenals in the muscles so you can train. So after bringing these two aspects back, blood in your frontal lobe, blood back into your organs, that means all it takes 1 minute, close your eyes, breathe deep, and feel the heat of your hands onto your frontal lobe. It will already do the first step. Second step on your solar plexus is the middle, where also underneath you have the adrenal glands and also the digestive system. Then one more lower underneath your belly button, that's the sea of chi. That's all our energy is being stored there. So by 1 minute on each to do it, and with this, simply in 5 minutes, you're a different person. Did I do the training? And that regenerates you more. And I called my training ISO Regen, as I mentioned already before, regeneration training, because we understand, I mean, not we, the system understands, you train hard, then you do necessary stuff to regenerate. So by putting those aspects all together, I start to see that I am regenerating while I'm training, man. So when I had to introduce to the academy to license it, he came with you said, okay, I see the script, good. So, but I come and let's do the training. When would you like to do? And we were at this big event in Austria in one of the very nice hotels in the Alps. It's 5 days intersport, the sport shop, IFA Academy, our fitness academy, and that hotel organized this health week with over 120 classes in 5 days. And we do the NMS. So you work from morning 9 till 5 o'clock, changing the studios, changing classes, the halls, the outside in the park, by the pool, in the forest, mountain biking, Nordic walking, I don't know, Tosoix, Taibo, and swimming. And I did this year also my ISO regen and ballet. And I was like to York, we'll do it after. He's like, after the whole day to training. I said, yeah, but that's exactly what I want. I want to regenerate you. So if you're tired, I want you to measure this training exactly so that when we finish after 45 minutes, you don't feel more tired you feel regenerated, you feel stimulant, you feel more active, so you can go and continue your evening. Not that, oh my God, after the work I'm done. And he was like, okay. Even at the fitness academy. So we started, we finished, we went to rooms, then we had to go for dinner after. Came back after the showers. He said, Tigran, when you coming to do the video tutorials and the photo shooting for the scripts? I was like, did it work? He's like, yes, score. Then was the CEO of the company a couple of months ago. I had to it was already happened. The first education, then we met again this year in August with the CEO, and he was like, Tigran, I think we need to see what we can do maybe with the name, because in German language we understand regeneration again, like we all, after. And I said, yes, Alex, that's exactly what I want to change. But how? I said, give me the 45 minutes and you'll tell me after. Again, when? End of the day. Like, this guy is crazy, man. What he wants from us end of the day after all day, running right and left and doing all these meetings and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. So the same way, finished, came back, so I defended it twice, let's say, and I'm hoping. Actually, I'm not hoping. I'm going to do everything that in 5 to 10 years, as much as people in the world can use from those tools to become independent and healthy and more stabilized in their everyday life. And using those techniques, even the most thing that it changed in me, I put the physical aspect, the push-ups and this and that, all the powers onto the side. You know what the most it excites me? Decision making became the easiest. When it's yes, it's yes. When it's no, it's no. I can't. I don't know how to explain. I remember myself before that there is a maybe, but maybe let me see, and all these doubts. And this way you're more. I don't know, because the whole system, the hormonal levels are more stabilized, and the production. I don't know. I can't even say what's happening into me by doing more these trainings. And actually, it all happened. Not only I created, I also really twice a week fully trained with it for over a year. Because of the corona, I was giving online classes, and when you have a group training, you don't sit like this. So you have they all look at you and you perform. And more I did, more you finish the training, you feel something else is coming. So now I don't want to, like my training and then bring it too much over the head. It's just absolutely my honest feelings, and out of my career, just wanna share with people, not to like selling my training here or whatever, but it's just I have the patience to wait. It took over 3,000 years until yoga became famous in the West. I have time to give this time for people, and whoever is open-minded gives this 2 months of a time to really try with the new perspective that you can always do the old way.
It doesn't make sense when you say that you become unstuck also in your life, because you unstuck your organs and your system. So it's kind of like we said before, and you actually explained in a very nice way that everything is connected. So it's like I can feel the difference. I started working out when we started a podcast, and it completely changed my life, because I felt much stronger and much more focused after working outs than before. Also, my trainings are like in less than an hour, like 50 minutes. If I'm doing something for 2 hours, I'm doing something wrong. That's what they told me. I had opportunity to talk with people like yourself. So actually every week for me was some new discovery, So I just like applied every time, and tried on my own. So I do feel completely different when I skip a couple weeks. Like when my son was born, I didn't work out for a month because it's just like you don't sleep and
Mm.
you're not doing anything. But I could feel that my energy level was completely down, and then
So
especially with the trainings that I didn't know what I know now listening to you. Like I'm excited to see how it's going to be after this conversation, because I will try to apply your method for at least a month to see the difference.
already after the first 2 minutes doing your leg, your one leg, and when you stretch, when you see the difference of that leg and the other leg, and then you're like, really? On this wooden leg, I used to break it, stretch it, and bend it to make it warm. And this one is already ready. You'll feel it, but we'll probably find a time also one day really to train together online.
Oh,
One Sunday,
for
one
sure.
Sunday morning. One Sunday morning for you is Sunday morning, for me is in the evening. But I don't mind to join together and really feel that.
Oh yeah, let's do that definitely. Especially like I told you before, we should film once we come to Serbia, so we can do in person. So we can also talk about what happened after the trainings. I think it can be a good retrospective and
Absolutely.
summary.
Yeah.
So also the thing is that like you said, you danced like for 20 years or 20 years. I danced 17 years. My wife danced for 14 years. So we traditional Serbian dance, but our warm-ups were never in focus. So we never talk about that. And then there is like many of my good friends. Dancers becomes family. You just go through so many things, so much things, that you are actually like one family. And many of my friends actually had like a knee injuries or calf injuries. Like everything you're saying, you just like I was part of that world. And obviously not on a professional level like you, but I danced every week for 3 days a week for 2 hours. That's like 6 hours a week for
It,
17 years. So it just like it was a commitment. It was my
yeah,
life.
absolutely. Absolutely. You don't do it if it's not a commitment. You don't do it for 17 years.
Oh yeah. And then like everything you said today, like I just know so many examples
Yeah.
of the things.
I'm one of them. It's everyday life, every day, and it doesn't matter you're profi or not. It's absolutely for your system. Your liver does not care. Or you're a boxer, you're a soccer player, you're a hockey player, you're a basketball player, or you're a ballet dancer, or you're a Serbian or Armenian folklore dancer. If it's malfunctioning, it's going to hurt you. Finish.
Oh yeah. I would also argue, like for example, even professional soccer player could not dance three hours like you dance, as the same you cannot run 90 minutes like them. Even if you're
Exactly.
both athletes,
I mean,
it's
I just mean everybody in their own profession.
yeah.
In their own profession. I'd be good at mine, you'll be good at yours. But if your liver or your spleen is weaker than mine, I will have less muscle injury than you. You know what I mean? No. And it can be that I'm a professional, or somebody is an amateur. I work 10 hours, he works 2 hours. His spleen or his kidneys are not working well, optimally. They are not sick. Because if you go to doctor and you give a blood test, everything will come out normal. So you don't have any sickness, or it's not too late. But he might have more injuries than I do, even though I work for 10 hours. And that can be also vice versa.
Yeah, reverse, right. I agree with you. Let's talk about the conference that you are going to be one of the speakers. It's a Tesla's Planet. Igor, one of the organizer, like connected us together, and I'll just use a couple seconds to talk a little bit about Tesla's Planet. What I like about the event, and the first time I heard about it, is that they're inviting leading global experts in like many fields, like longevity, spirituality, neuroscience, psychology, well-being. You will be talking about this, what we talk today, or it will be something else?
My point today is really to change uh, human perspective, how human body functions in everyday life for longevity and also for a easier and more independent and a healthier life to have. And all these aspects are part of it.
So let's just like summarize a little bit about longevity. What does longevity means to you? We talk about training aspect. You mentioned a couple times about spirituality, and then you talk about longevity. So let's talk slightly, just a little bit about longevity from your perspective.
Well, it's something how I see that this snowball effect, as slower we get, more longevity we are into in our life, spiritually, mentally, within every cells of our body. So that's for me not particular something, just and I can explain that. It's more global, because what we do, it's everything, we're shortening up everything in our life, and then we are okay with it because we say we're getting old. With 27, professional athletes are saying already, that's it, I'm old. And if I manage till 34, it's already bang. 37, you're already, my God, this guy is a genius, this guy is amazing, with all the genes aspects. So all those things to reduce, that's what is for me healthy, happy, less pain-free life, which is with stabilized hormones, which will give you the spiritual happiness, because no stabilized or not the right production of the hormones, doesn't matter in what kind of environment you want to be or what kind of circumstances you want to have in your life, you will not be happy. And those things to reduce, it's my point in longevity.
Tigran, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing everything you I mean everything, a lot of things that you learned so far. I'm really looking forward to talk with you in a couple months again, and then see what else you are going to figure out, find out, and explore. Where can people find you? What's the best way to connect with you?
In Instagram,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, I will put all the links below,
Mm.
so everyone who is listening or watching can easily find you. We will do that training, and then I'll share some examples on social media
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So we will see that what we talk today, how it actually works in real life. Also, I would just before we wrap up this, yes.
Just say something how it works. You should ask also Igor. He could never touch his toes in his life, and in 5 trainings, I managed to get him touching his toes.
Oh, he didn't share that, but definitely I'm gonna text him like right
But
right now.
that is that is the biggest reason that he believed in my technique. I told him, come onto Fruška Gora, in Srpski Karlovci. I have the summer house, small one, but with a beautiful view. I said, come in the nature, morning at 8 o'clock, 8:30. Come, let's just chill together. Let's breathe. Let's do some isometrics. Let's do some organ massage. Not training or whatever. Just put these aspects together, and by on the way, let's see how far we get. After the 5th training, he touched his toes, and that's it. That was that. Okay, Tigran, what we do, longevity, man. This we talk, and I love him, and this burst of energy, it came exactly there because he was open to not only okay, great training or whatever, but he was open to come from the city up to me and give this time to see what is he talking. Is it working? Is it happening? So that's one more thing for me. Looking forward very much to have that experience also with you.
Oh, I'm looking forward as well. And Igor, like you explained to right now, for people who doesn't know him, he's very futurist. He's very open minded. He's like fascinating to talk with him. Every time is a new idea. Like every conversation is like about a new idea. Something new is going on. He just remember, or he just find out, and he's like all over the place. And this conference that he's organizing, it's just like combination of everything that he's doing. He just put it together, and I really believe that in those 2 days, you and the other speakers will just generally make change in lives of people who are attending. And I see that there is only 200 places that can be in live, and then everything else will be online. It's a hybrid conference, so I'm really looking forward to be part of that. And I would like to invite everyone that are listening right now, and then like you liked your story, and there is many more speakers with a similar stories, not in the same way, not only dancers, but like in any other aspects of life that can share. And like you said a couple times today, and through your story, you can feel that you, Tigran, actually believe in what you're doing, that you want to help others, and that's amazing. And I just want to thank you as one of the others that you want to help, for your time, for your efforts, for not giving up when was probably the easiest choice, and then sticking together, sticking there, and actually make the work done. So thank you so much, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate very much, Ivan, to have me. And also, yeah, be open to what is, the dancer is going to say about the health aspect of humankind. That's sometimes hard for people to understand, but exactly this, what you mentioned, that was the easiest choice to give up. I don't think it would be the easiest choice, because I don't know how I would live afterwards. So
Well,
the easiest choice for me was to go on, and for many people is that easiest choice is to go on, but is the giving up, which I don't think we are losers if we give up, depending of the situation. And we just have to carry if we feel it's not fulfilled.
when I
Once you feel it's fulfilled, then you can also give up. It's okay. So I just want to leave that also on people, to not be always with the pressure, the giving up thing. You have to understand how much substance you gain in the things that you're doing. Not be greedy. And if sometimes, like when I could go further. Believe me, I could dance longer and I can still start back. But I was done, not because of my injuries. I was done because I gave everything for 30 years. It's all 9 years in the school and 20 years professional. I gave everything. I was there for my last performance on stage. Just for the end, I stood there and I was like, I don't have anything for you more, guys. I don't want to perform anymore. I want to help people to perform. I want to help people to have easier pleasure, and that gives me pleasure. Now, this Friday, I will be with the Bavarian State Ballet that I worked 13 years as a first soloist, but helping the dancers behind the stage, in the coulisses, backstage, for their security for the performance, taping, taking care if it's necessary therapy, warming their organs up so they'll be more stabilized. So
So you're still
thank
in
you,
the field.
thank you.
That's amazing. When I
I
say
work a lot with the ballet dancers. I'm actually at the same clinic where I was rehabilitating myself. So my chef gave me the trust and the opportunity to continue there, because he knows my all injuries that I was there under his eye. So the connection with the theater is there. But even when I'm there on stage, helping dancers in backstage, not 1 second I get back with my nostalgic emotional feelings. Oh my God, when I was, no, it's gone. I'm there. I love to be in theater because that's a nice place to be, but nothing, for self artistry or anything. So that's why I have absolutely freedom. That's what I want. Part of these feelings, what I'm feeling, with combining all these aspects together, it appears automatically. You don't have to hustle for it. Thank you again.
You're welcome. When I said the easiest, it's always like viewer's perspective. Is it looks like it's much harder. It's like, oh my god, But like when you have a goal and like you were and you are right now professional. You're a professional dancer today. You're helping people in a professional way. I'm pretty sure in that. But it's just like it's a different when it's viewer's perspective. But once you share the story, like yourself right now, it's just like it's a mind changing for everyone else, like right now, like how I see something that I'm struggling right now, it's a completely different because it just like shaped my perspective just like slightly, but that's like a compound effect. In a couple of years will be like a huge change. So that's why I really enjoy today, and I was looking forward to hear the whole story, and I'm pretty sure this is only a part, but it's like a huge part, and I really appreciate you for your time today.
Thank you very much,
and thank you everyone for listening this podcast. The best way to support us is to subscribe on this YouTube channel. If you have any questions for Tigran or for me, you can always place your questions in the comments area. That's what I'm reading every single comment, and talk about this episode with your friends. Share with someone you think it can be helpful, and see you next time. Bye bye.